You got the national media weighing in. Warren Sharp of Sharp Football, I thought was too hard on the Steelers quarterback play. He wrote on X, "That was some awful football by both Steelers quarterbacks. There is no winner of the Steelers QB battle. The preseason will mercifully end and someone will start game one. He'll probably get benched by October. There's a reason both quarterbacks were basically free. Sometimes you get what you pay for." When people say stuff like that, I do wonder, like, did you want them to bring Kenny Pickett back? Like, did you want them to bring Mitch Trubisky back? I thought Mitch was the worst quarterback on the field on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you want him to bring Mason Rudolph back? I guess there are reasonable people who could say that, but I would take my chances with doing what they did over Mason. Like, is Mason going to do what he did the final 3 games for 17 weeks? I don't think so. I think Russ, statistically last year, was a much better quarterback because you know you can get it out of the full course of a 17-game schedule. I also think that if you're going to critique the Steelers quarterbacks that way, you have to also acknowledge what was going on around them.
Yes.
Was very, very bad.
Bad.
And I don't think that Sharp Football did that there.
I mean, it's not like Russ or Justin Fields were throwing interceptions or throwing the ball, away. Like there wasn't that pass, you can make an argument in the red zone or towards the red zone with Luther. Like that was maybe a bad pass, but it's not like Russell Wilson or Justin Fields were throwing a pass like Mitch Trubisky did to just airmailed it to the safety.
Right.
Like that wasn't happening. So you do have to look at what's going on around them and things collapsing and them not having any time to really do anything. Like thank God Justin Fields is as athletic as he is, or that play would have been a disaster.
Well, and I think that is why some people are calling for him to be the Steelers starting quarterback, including Pitman Louis Riddick.
Yeah, I'm biased right now. Look, I'll tell you what, Linda, I'm going with Justin Fields simply because of the fact that, one, he's been the player that's been healthy and that's been available. And two, I think he has taken full advantage of those reps and those opportunities to go ahead and show Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith that he has that dual threat capability that can really take this offense to another level as he continues to get more comfortable with it. So, look, we'll see how this plays out. I know Mike Tomlin has said repeatedly that Russell Wilson is in the pole position. Tonight, you could probably say the performance was like a C or a B minus maybe on Russell's standpoint, considering the fact that he was under duress right from the get-go, was sacked 3 times. But I think it's just Justin's ad-lib ability.
I think that's fair. We talk about this offensive line being potentially as bad as it could be. You would want a quarterback that can create.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is merit for that conversation. If anybody wants to call up at 412-928-9370 and say this offensive line's probably going to suck at least early, so get the mobile quarterback in there, the more mobile of the quarterbacks, I do get that. The reason why I'm just going to firmly plant my feet in the Russ Wilson camp is if you start Justin Fields from day one, you have to finish with Justin Fields, I think.
Right.
Because I don't think Russ is going to take too kindly to that, and I don't think he should take too kindly to that. If you start with Russ, you can always go to Justin. I don't think you can do it the other way around. And so that's why I would go with Russ Wilson.
Man, like if they do what we're saying and start Justin Fields and then have to turn to Russ because Justin Fields hadn't panned out, I mean, there's bigger problems. And we've talked about this a couple times. Like this, I mean, if that were the case, there's only one person to point to, and that's the head coach, because things just haven't worked. And that is a tough situation to have to deal with if you're the Steelers. If this, like right now, I'm not feeling too comfortable if I'm Mike Tomlin. Like regardless of anything. Like I know that it's preseason. I know that the plays are vanilla, but I am not feeling comfortable at all. I'm feeling comfortable with my job because I just got an extension.
Yeah.
But just as the season and what we could put out there and wanting to score points, wanting to change, wanting to have some urgency, like I am not feeling great right now. And that's not a situation that I thought that I would have myself in because we went out and got 2 quarterbacks that we thought could be a better and a bigger upgrade than what we had last year. It's not showing as a whole right now.
I do think Russ missing time matters. I do. I know he's a vet. I know he knows what he's looking at. I expected him to hit the ground running more. Again, most of it to me had to do with what was around him and not so much him. But you need to develop chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
You need to.
And it's not just with receivers either. It's with offensive linemen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I thought it was evident that there was some rust there, too. And people are going to say, oh, you're making excuses for Russell Wilson. I'm getting a ton of that right now on the text. Crowley, quit making excuses for Russ. I think there are excuses and I think there are reasons. When a guy plays basically 1 week, that's it, leading into the first preseason game, maybe we shouldn't expect it to look all sunshine and rainbows.
I mean, how many checks at the line did we see, though, in the past 2 games?
Right.
There's not really. Like, that's what Russ is good at, too.
Great point.
I mean, that's what he does. He knows if he sees a defense, if he sees a front slide, he knows how to check in and check out certain things. I barely saw that at all. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't see that much.
It should look better just by virtue of game planning and that when the regular season starts.
Yeah.
Russ knows what to get into, what to get out of, and I would imagine that they're going to give him that freedom.
Yes.
Arthur Smith's a big boy. Russ Wilson's a big boy. And you're going to chip. You're going to keep it back to block. You're going to do things that you didn't do before. So it should be better when the regular season hits. But if you can't protect, you can't protect.
Right.
And it can only get so much better. Who do you want to see start at quarterback week 1 against Atlanta? 412-928-9370. I think, are you conflicted? I think you're conflicted a little bit.
I'm starting to get there.
Yeah. I
little bit.
I am conflicted because I think if the offensive line, if you play them again in the final preseason game and it's a sieve, I think reasonable arguments can be made. You put the much more athletic quarterback in there. But I'm not willing to do that knowing that when you turn it over to Justin Fields, it's just going to be his. Russ might even ask to be released at that point. He wants to play good soldier. He's been knocked. That's one of the reasons why he got let go. It's one of the reasons why he came so cheap. But if I'm brought in and I think I'm a starting quarterback, and week 1 they go with the other guy, probably not going to be all hunky-dory.
No. Mm-mm.